Hello, and welcome. We'll be going over how to use GeoIP lookup with LogZilla Lua rules. Please note that the file in this video is available on the LogZilla GitHub repository in University. We'll be going over how to use the GeoIP lookup with LogZilla Lua rules. For those unfamiliar, LogZilla is a network event orchestrator. What this means is that LogZilla watches information streams such as log files, it deduplicates, filters, and parses log event messages, and it will react to those events in real time, from sending out email alerts up to and including automatically remediating problem conditions. Rules are one of the main features of LogZilla. Rules allow you to parse incoming log messages and extract or modify the log message's information in order to make those log messages more useful to you. Most commonly, rules are used to do two things. First, to add to or change the log message itself. A common example is that many log messages contain a timestamp in the message text. Since LogZilla records its own timestamp information in a format that is more consistent and useful, there is no reason to keep the timestamp in the message text, so a rule can be used to alter the log message text by removing that unnecessary timestamp. The second common task rules perform is to create user tags. There is another video that is an introduction to user tags, so you might want to watch that video and come back, though we will be going into some detail regarding user tags in this video as well. Anyway, rules are used to extract information or data elements from the incoming log messages and then record those data elements under specific names called user tags. These specific data elements then can be used for searching, for filtering, and for display in widgets on dashboards. Now then, rules in LogZilla are small programs that tell LogZilla how to read and process the incoming log messages. So one of the features that is available within these Lua rules is GeoIP lookup. GeoIP lookup is how you can determine the city, state, and country, that is, the location of any given IP address. If your log messages include any IPs, such as the source IP or destination IP of a TCP connection, you can use GeoIP lookup to get the location of that IP, and then it's easy to display that information in a widget on the dashboard, or search and filter for it, or even include it in an email message. So let's get started. There is another video that covers the basics of LogZilla Lua rules. So in this video, we're going to assume you've watched that video and are able to follow along. Now there are two different ways to do the GeoIP lookup. They both look up the city, state, and country for the IP address. I've made a rule that shows both methods, and you can decide which is easier for you. Let's look at the rule. At the top, we have the usual Lua load libraries section. It's pretty standard, except for the last line about GeoIP. We're saying that we want the word GeoIP to represent the library that has the GeoIP lookup function in it. Next, we have the regular expression to get the IP address. This regular expression is going to match our DHCP server log messages, and it indicates where the IP address is in that message. Now we're at the standard process function. This is the function that performs all the work for each log message. You recall that LogZilla calls it for every log message, and when it calls it, it stores the information about the log message in this event variable. In our process function, the first thing to do is to check to see if we want anything to do with this message in the first place. We know that our DHCP log messages always come in with the syslog program field set to DHCPD. We'll check that first. So here, if the message program is anything else, then we're going to get out of the function and leave the message alone. We know that this log message was produced by DHCPD. Now our regular expression is used to match that log message and hopefully read the client IP address into the source IP variable. The next is a check to see if we want to proceed. We tried to read the IP address into the source IP variable. If that source IP variable is still empty or null, then we know the regular expression didn't match. And again, we want to just stop this function and leave the message alone, so we'll return. Now we know the log message came from DHCPD. The log message itself is the type of log message we're looking for, and we've read the client IP address from that message. We're ready to do our GeoIP lookups. There's two methods to do GeoIP lookups. They both look up the same city, state, and country information, but there is a minor difference in how they work and what you get. The first method makes 3 new user tags with city, state, and country. Let's go over it. For this method, you must have already put the IP address of interest into some user tag. We'll do that first. You'll recall from earlier that we made a source IP variable to store the results of the regular expression match, the IP address. Now we just put that source IP into a user tag named source IP. We're ready for the lookup. The GeoIP library that we declared at the top has a function called addGeoTags. We call that function, giving the function the log message details and telling the function that it should reference user tag source IP. That function runs, and what it does is to create 3 new user tags based on the name of the user tag that you used when calling the function. Since we told the function to operate on source IP, the 3 new user tags are going to be source IP city, source IP state, and source IP country. You can see that it's just adding city, state, and country to the source IP user tag name we gave it. The last part of this section is to check if the function was able to look up the GeoIP information. If the addGeoTags function wasn't able to determine the city, state, or country, then that variable is going to be equal to nil. These 3 groups check to see if city, state, or country is nil, and if so, then use the word unknown. That's it for GeoIP lookup method 1. For method 2, instead of having the GeoIP function make 3 new user tags for you, this method allows you to assign the information to user tags named however you want. So first we run the GeoIP getValues function. This returns a variable that has all 3 location levels in it, the city, state, and country. These next 3 lines are how we use that information. You can see that we start with a user tag named source IP city2, but we can use whatever tag name we want. The important part is that we use the city value to assign it to that user tag. We get to the city value by looking in that function variable we just received. That variable resulting from the GeoIP getValues function has 3 elements that are accessed by a location level name as you see here. To get the city information from that variable we received, we look in that variable for an element named city, and that's the value we put in our source IP city2 user tag. The bit on the end about unknown is the same idea from earlier. If the function wasn't able to determine a city, state, or country, then the data just isn't there, in which case we use unknown instead. We repeat that for state and for country. So whether you use method 1 or method 2, you now have 3 new user tags for city, state, and country. You are prepared to use them as usual in widgets, in searching and filtering, and in email. The last part of the rule here just sets the high cardinality tags. City and state are likely to have more than 50 values, so we set those 2 to high cardinality. Country probably won't, so we don't set it. But be aware your situation may differ. That's all there is to it. Now you know how to do GeoIP lookups in LogZilla rules. If you have any questions or for more information, please contact us at our website, logzilla.net. Thanks for watching.